thinking that. I was like, I know
We're
we
on
have
air
a.
now. Oh.
Oh, how do you
Hello,
know?
everybody.
Hi.
Hi, everyone. We were just having a chat there, kind of getting
Yes, we
things ready to
were.
go. We just noticed it turned on air.
Very funny.
Yes.
So, hi, everyone out there. My name is Niamh Arthur, and we want to welcome you to another edition of the Women's Lounge. Today, we're going to actually depart from kind of what we usually do and talk a little bit about business. One of the things that we've always done is kept the Women's Lounge all about kind of inspiring and helping and serving women, and we've quite purposefully kept business out of it, because we want to make sure that we can reach other people and help other people. But the one thing for all of us on the line is that our lives have totally changed from the businesses that we have been able to create, and from having online business so that we could create our own economy, so that we could have freedom, so that we could have the time to actually experience this stuff and go through the lessons that we've learned. So a lot of when we all talk about happiness, about confidence, about empowering other women, the things that we talk about are all brought about by the fact that we don't have to any longer worry about how are we going to pay the bills? We don't have the stress of what are we going to, are we going to be able to pay rent at the end of the month and things like that. And so while we have been careful not to get too businessy, it's also an important aspect of what we do in that it
very
allows
much
each and
so.
every one of us to create the space to dig into it, to what we're doing. So that's kind of the conversation we want to have tonight. And I'd actually love to just jump over to Dee, because Dee, I know that you're not going to necessarily be able to be on with us for very long tonight. So we'd love to just have you out and hear a little bit about how you got into online business and what you'd like to share with the women out there.
Yeah, thank you so much. Niamh, I really do appreciate you and Cristina. You ladies have no idea, because I do find my joy in helping people connect with their businesses. For me, I'm just going to keep it real. This topic especially is what excites me. It makes like my blood boil. It makes my heart beat. It just kind of flows my energy. Before I got on this, like right at the time that we noticed we were live, like Niamh was like, "Oh, we're live." I'm like, "Oh, well, okay." I was going to explain to the ladies, but now that we're live, I'll just tell all of you too watching. My name's Verrengia. This is my husband, Justin.
Hi.
See that sexy Italian hippie over
Justin.
there? That's all mine. And our journey is a little different than most people, because my mindset is extremely different. And it all boils down to energy for me, like just real talk, If I am not aligned in my purpose, I don't write a blog post. It's not that I can't write a blog post, I don't do it. If I am not aligned with whatever's going on throughout the day, I do not shoot a video. Once again, it's not because I don't want to or I can't. It's because I realize that I'm more inspirational and more beneficial to people when I am shooting in a state of alignment and of knowing why I'm doing what I'm doing, rather than just shooting it to shoot it because I think that this is how business is done, or this is what my mentors have told me. I'll just share a little bit with you about like our history, our background, and then maybe you can understand like where I'm coming from. Because and mind you, I can understand some of you will hear this and you'll be like, "Oh, hell no, that's intense," and then there are others that will hear it and be like, "Oh my gosh, I completely understand where she's coming from." So I met Justin. I'm 27 years old now. I met Justin about 10 years ago when I was 17. And Justin was always a man with very few words. Like, He wasn't the type to be like, oh, I'm going to take you around the world and we're going to travel here. Oh, I'm going to buy you this huge ring and we're going to do this. I'm going to buy you this car. We're going to move to Florida. We're going to move to, China. We're going to go to Costa Rica. He was just a man who reflected what he was going to do from his actions. So when we first got our little tiny bit of success online, we actually packed our bags. This is about 7 years ago. We actually packed our bags and left the country. And there were a few reasons for that. One reason was we weren't making 80,000 plus a month like we are now, so we weren't really able to afford, to stay in the United States. I mean, yeah, we could have stayed here, but, to Justin, living with our family or living in an area that was subpar to what he felt that we deserved, it just wasn't an option. So he did some research and he realized, well, wait a minute. With what we're making, we can live a very beautiful lifestyle if we're just willing to try something new. So we packed our bags. We were living in a $500,000 home, and he literally sold everything in the home, and what we couldn't sold, we gave away. So I was like, damn it, he's serious. Like, there's no backing out of this. And we moved. The first country was to Costa Rica. And at first, I'm not going to lie, I would cry myself to sleep. I would be like, I want my mom. Where's my little sister? Like, come on, my friends are back home. They're playing beer pong, and I'm here trying to figure out how to run a business on the beach. Come on now. Like, I was looking at everything negative, instead of looking at what was really happening. Because what was really happening by segregating ourselves from, the family and those friends, I was able to surround myself with the knowledge and the people like Cristina, like Niamh, who literally took the time to focus on what mattered most, personal development. And so that's why it brings me down to like my purpose. You can build any business you want to. It doesn't matter what opportunity you choose. I've realized that there are many great opportunities out there, but what makes one successful in the opportunity they choose is being aligned with their purpose, being aligned with what wakes them up in the morning, being aligned with what makes you continue to do this when you're not feeling like you want to do it, being aligned with, the purpose. If somebody writes on your video, ooh, you're looking a little chubby today, instead of crying in a corner and slamming the closet on yourself, you're like, well, screw her. I got a message to send, and when I realized that, my whole business changed. All of a sudden, it wasn't about making money and how much money I was making. It was about how many people I could help to freedom. So to fast forward a little bit, I had a conversation with a woman today on Facebook, and she asked me, she asked on my Facebook profile, she asked me on my Facebook fan page, she asked me in a private message, what do you do? How do you make your money? And I'm like, she started the conversation first with telling me that she studied the law of attraction, so she understands the law of attraction. And, she's just a little bit confused about how I make my money. So I answered her the only way I know how. I create abundance by helping other people attain their goals. I don't make a dime unless I can help the people who join me to reach their goals, to reach their vision. That wasn't acceptable to her. She asked me again, what do you do? I help people connect with why they're on this earth. But I don't understand. How do you make money with that? I don't think you understand. It's not about the money. After I'm able to help someone align to their purpose, the money just comes. Abundance just happens. It is in the flow. She was really upset about it. Really upset. To the point where she wrote me this long letter, and then at the end she was like, well, God bless you. And I'm like, actually, I believe he does on a daily basis, which is why I'm able to help people the way that I do. Well, that ticked her off even more. And then I realized, I sat back and I asked Justin, I was like, why is she so upset at me? Like, I told her what we do. And he's like, some people, don't understand that. She wants to hear this is a business and you've got to do this and you have to pay that. And the truth is, after you align to your purpose, It doesn't matter what business you choose. Like, you could make any opportunity work. But after you realize why you're doing it, that's what makes you wake up in the morning and do it on a rainy day. That's what makes you find the courage to shoot videos regardless of how many people, lash things out at you. Some people know that my family's from Haiti. I've had people literally down talk me in every single way that you could imagine just because of my skin color and my nationality. And it's something I can't physically change. I started a 90-day bliss video challenge because I thought to myself, you know what? I get over 50 emails a day on Facebook. And most of these emails want to know, how did I get to the next level? What are you doing? So yeah, I could give them a runaround and be like, yeah, follow this formula. This is what I do. But the truth is, I shoot a video and I make sure that people watch my video. And I shared, more about why I do this. There were people who actually came to me. They were offended at the fact that I started this video challenge. There were people who came to me and they were like, why are you doing this? You're distracting my team. Actually, it was your team that asked me, how do I do what I'm doing? So instead of giving them a runaround, I just said, you know what? Here's a free video challenge that you can join. I take the time every single day. There are only 24 hours in a day. And no joke, I take over 6 hours a day watching the contestant and the registrants' videos on a daily basis. I could have said, hey, would somebody help me to do this? And then they'd say, yeah, Dee, I'd love to help you. And then in a week later, they'd be like, whoa, that's a lot of work. But I know the reason why I started this challenge was to help people attain freedom using a free marketing source called video. Because most of my relationships that I've gained online, my best friend Jabril, I met him, like, how many years ago was it, baby? Like 6 years, 5 years? I don't know. It's been a long time. I met him through video. I saw him on YouTube doing his thing, and I was like, hey, want a joint venture with me? And he was like, no, I don't want to sell your product for you, but I'll make a video with you. I'll introduce you to some people who might be interested in that. And now till this day, he's one of the closest people that I have in my life. So I credit video to a lot of things. Some of you may not know how I met Justin. How did we meet? Online, in a chat room. If it wasn't for videos and photo, I would not be married today. So when people ask me and they're like, Dee, what do you do? I shoot videos. I speak from my heart. I share what inspires me. What inspires me is a vision of freedom. I see people worldwide, doesn't matter where they are, what color they are, what language they speak, living in abundance. I see them being able to play with their children anytime they want to. I see them being able to live life on their terms. It doesn't matter how much money it costs because they got it. It doesn't matter what they have to do because they can attain it. This is why I do what I do. So even though it takes me several hours to watch the videos, and yeah, not all of them are the greatest videos in the world, I'm just going to be honest, but everyone's learning, everyone's growing. My first video I shot in the dark, like literally, I was that scared. I made sure I was in the dark when I shot it. So when we talk about growth, when we talk about business, I mean, these ladies here, they can tell you so much about business, but what it really comes down to is connecting with why you're doing it, why you want that result, why you're so focused on helping other people. And I feel it's not until you get to that point that your business literally takes to the next level. That's what I wanted to share.
That's amazing, Dee. And I have to tell you, as
Powerful.
yeah, someone who watches a lot of videos as well, your videos do connect on a level because you're communicating just straight from the heart.
Thank
and
you.
that is why you create what you create. That's how abundance is created, by sharing yourself and other people connecting to it. Now, a lot of people have a lot of blinders in the way, a lot of things that are kind of getting in the way of your message or your vision getting through all that kind of garbage that's in front of your face. And that's why we do the Women's Lounge, is to help clear some of that stuff up so that your message can come through.
Yes.
But, you know, one thing that I want to talk about with business is, you know, we wanted to talk about business as like any business, you know, and Dee's talking about creating videos. Creating videos can help make sales in any business. I don't care if it's offline, online, home business, you know, something that you create yourself. You know, it's in sharing ourselves that we can truly create more. And one of the things that I really wanted to tie into, you know, and I'll just go ahead and jump in here because I think it's a perfect timing, is I wrote down under here today the ultimate authority peer, right? So the reason why I shared that is because I wanted to share the big love that I have for blogging and for creating content, and video ties into that. But truly, right now, 2013, you guys do realize that people don't receive information the same way they used to. We're growing, we're evolving. I don't care how much evidence you have that society is like in the toilet, like it's not. It's like there's so much birth happening and of people's minds. Like it's incredible. So I want you to like stop and think, how do people actually take in information now? How do they actually make their decisions now? They're not just watching what politicians tell them or what newscasters tell them or what companies tell them. You know, when I want to make a decision, I ask the people that I love and respect around me. And then when they give me advice, that's what I go and follow through on. So if I want to buy something, I look to people that I think are my peers, but I think are somehow that little bit elevated. Like they're not kind of all caught up in the you know, news circus or whatever. I know that they're consciously making decisions in their life. Those are the people whose advice I take. So when I say authority peer, I'm talking about how blogging or video marketing or creating your own content and putting it in your own space, not just like sharing your opinion on Facebook and leaving it at that. I'm talking having the guts to stand up and share your opinion and share yourself in content. What that does is it allows people to view you as their peer because they see that you're just a real person. You know, that we're connecting here. I'm real, you're real, we're like in the real world together. And through that connection, then we feel like peers because, you know, like we can just all sit around and have a chat. We're normal people, you know, we're not like a company hiding behind a brand or an ad. And then through that, the authority comes in that we have actually taken the time to put some stuff out there on a blog, right? To put a video out or a blog post out, and just separating ourselves that much is enough to have people see you as an authority on a topic. And from there, you truly can sell anything, because if you're as long as you're being honest, like as long as you're speaking from the heart and going through exactly what Dee just shared, having a vision and sharing that and coming from a place of truth inside yourself, then when you're making suggestions, people follow them. And if you then are the person suggesting something and you have an affiliate link, or you are suggesting your business or an offline business or whatever it is you're suggesting, people naturally want to follow that because they've connected with you, they understand where you're coming from. And so that's why when we say how to start a business online, to me, that like is blogging, because every single website in the world, whether it is like a traditional blog or not, like it's just content someone created, right? So, but you just want to put yourself into the content. And if you put yourself into the content and create a blog that is a serious blog. I'm not talking about free blogs, and I'm just going to be totally honest with you guys. I don't think free blogs give you any level of authority. I think it just is like you're having your own personal Facebook.
Point. No, that's a really great point. You see that word right there, authority. And in our industry, we like to use influence, authority. And it's, you know, a lot of people get confused with these words. They think that, you know, just because you have a big check that all of a sudden you have authority, or just because Christina's doing dynamic and, you know, she happened to be forced to do it from laying down in her bed. I don't want to call her crippled. She's definitely not.
No. I'm on my way to physical health.
Exactly. But she created this in a different state than she is now. And so I feel like she didn't have that authority. She didn't get that influence because she was not feeling well. She didn't get that because of a big check. It's like respect. You have authority, you have influence in this industry, you have influence in this because you earned it. There's a very big difference between that. You know, some of us believe that, you know, the people with the big checks and they have this success, and did he just buy a jet? You know, we're thinking of all these things, and we think that this is why the people are listening to them, or this is why, you know, they have so much success, or this is why people flock to them. Influence is exactly like respect. It's not given, it's earned. So when you said authority, I thought I really should point that out. You know, people don't follow just anyone. They follow people, like you said, who are genuine, who are sharing consistently. The more consistent you are in what you do, the more people take you seriously. If you post a blog post every month, or, you know, when you decide to get your hair done, people see that and they're like, no, never mind. But if you're consistent in your message and, you know, you're sharing that knowledge, they feel like, wow, I really know Niamh, you know? When she posts that blog post, I really feel like I get value out of that. Wow, I was following Cristina on Facebook, and I really appreciate the way that she shared that knowledge with me. And that's why they have influence. They earned it.
And you're right as well, Dee. It's not even a reflection of how much money you've made. It's a
Not at
reflection
all.
of who you're being, because like I've absolutely found that it's like you know when you have the friend on Facebook who one day is saying, here, come sign up to this thing, it's going to make you so much money, and then the next day they're complaining about the price of like corn, and you're like, what is wrong with you? You know, that's not a consistent, abundant message. That's mixed messages. It's confusing. No one's going to listen to you when you take yourself down by saying two different things. That's not a person in alignment. What Dee said right at the start of this call, being in alignment is important. That also means speaking the truth. You know, I've had a couple instances lately where I've had to tell someone the truth when I knew it wasn't what they wanted to hear.
Yes,
and that can be tough, but it's something that when you learn to just be yourself and then create content, you truly open up a whole amazing amount of abundance in online business. But I'd love to just jump over, because I can see from Christina's like text underneath her name that she's got some amazing content to share on online businesses.
And I tell you what, you two have been talking about, it's inspiring even more, like more ideas. And in fact, I do want to touch on briefly what you're saying, Niamh, and also what you've shared, and Dee. And I think it's fabulous. You're 27, unbelievable. Look, my name's Cristina Munoz, if you don't know me, and I'm from Australia, and I am not 27. I'm in my fabulous 40s. And I remember the day when we used to write letters. There was no online world. There was no Twitter. There was no Facebook. We communicated via letters and kept a journal in little notebooks. Okay, so it's wonderful to see how, you know, technology and just how the world has evolved, and how the having an online business, or just even having the opportunity to be online, opens up so much more abundance than you could ever have before. Access to so much more information than we've ever had before, and also the ability, I guess, to connect with people all over the world that you maybe wouldn't have been able to before. Pen pals just didn't really cut it the same way. And when Dee says that that you got to really know your purpose and know why, you know, got me thinking about when I first started online. And if you don't know my story, like when I first started online, I was actually in my 30s. And I'd actually damaged my lower disc in a work-related incident. And about a year after that, I lost my job. I could not sit, stand, or walk, you know, 9 to 5 anymore at that time. And it was June 2001, and June 2001, and I will never forget it. I got a letter from the neurosurgeon who had, I guess, as part of work cover, you know, did an analyze me or what have you, to do a bit of a report. And I actually collapsed in his office. Okay, so I thought finally, people will realize that there was actually something wrong with me. I wasn't just pretending I had a back problem. I had tried to go back to work 8 times, couldn't, went through really a nightmare year. And then I got his report, and he basically said in his report that Christina's symptoms are bizarre and florid, and she just doesn't want to work anymore. Before then, I didn't have a purpose. Okay, before then, I was just trying to really just get by. But when I read that report, it was like, I can't even explain it. It's like my whole body just went still, and I was just consumed with a rage I have never felt before or after since to that level. But what it did was awaken a fire in me. It was like I realized that no one was going to save me. Okay? My employer wasn't going to do the right thing by me. The medical profession that's supposed to be there to look after you or you know, be there to fix you if they can or to support you wasn't going to look after me. The government wasn't going to look after me. I was 34 years old at the time. The only person that was going to be able to take care of me first, okay, was me. And this is important because you can't really start thinking about helping other people until you've got yourself sorted out. Okay, and the reality is with a lot of people when they first get online, not all, okay, they may be in survival mode. You know, that I was in that case when I first started online and found myself again in that situation in 2011. And when you're in that situation, you've got to first get the worry of money for yourself out of the way. It's a bit like, you know, you've heard the analogy about being on a plane, and first you've got to give yourself the oxygen, you know, before you give it to your children and to people around you. Because if you're dead, you're not going to be able to help anybody. Okay, so you first sort of need, and that's what it gave me back in June 2001, a really strong why. And my why then, when I realized that no one was going to save me, I just made the decision, right, I am going to find a way to take back control of my life. I'm going to find a way to work from home because I ended up on sickness benefits. If anybody's living on sickness benefits or welfare, I mean, at the time, I mean, that's not much money. It's about $300 a month. I was 34. I had dreams. I wanted to start a family, move to the country, all these things. I did not want to be on sickness benefits for the rest of my life. You know, so that's what sort of was the impetus, I guess, for me personally, that got me online. I started looking for work from home. Okay, so my why at that time, and, you know, it's a little embarrassing a little bit to admit, but it's the truth. Okay, it wasn't about helping anybody else. I'll be honest. Okay, it was about, I just want to get off sickness benefits. Okay, that's all I wanted to do when I first got online. Okay, so even just that, you know, but if it's all consuming, if that why, that initial why, whatever it is for you, pardon me, I'm getting over a virus, okay, is all consuming, that can be your launching pad, okay, to help you create the initial results to look after your, you know, your survival. So then that you can actually uncover, once you're not worried about all the survival, you can actually uncover what you're really put on this earth for and how you're really supposed to help other people in your own unique way. So, but when you're doing that, when you have the why and you're a complete newbie and you know nothing, and this is for the newbies, I'm going to put my Taurian hat on now. Okay, and by that I mean my practical Taurian hat, because if you have a little look down there, you're going to see create traffic, okay, capture leads, convert sales. Okay, so when you actually decide, yep, I'm going to start an online business, boom, you choose the vehicle for you. Here's one key. If you've never ever had any success online before, value learning over money. Okay, value learning over money, because so much of it is being in one place long enough to master the skills required to be successful and to develop the mindset, go through the personal development required to achieve the level of success you want. Okay, and it all depends on your goals. You know, if you only want to earn a couple of hundred a month, well, you know, you're gonna be able to know that a lot quicker. If you want to make 80,000 a month, like, you know, Dee and Justin, hey, you're going to have to become a highly evolved, enlightened individual. Okay, they inspire me every day. So there is, you know, a little spectrum. But going back to a newbie, you want to pick a vehicle or a business that you can call your home, okay, that other people are succeeding at, all sorts of people, like experienced newbies are succeeding at, and then you want to stick with it, okay. You want to use it as your home to learn the skills. You want to make sure when you're first starting out that you take the time to understand your business. There's nothing worse than someone out there marketing who doesn't even understand their business. Okay, I realize when you first start something, you just want to get into it. But if you don't take the time to go through the fast start training, just go through the products that your business has so you have the understanding when you're actually out there marketing, that will come across. Whereas if you take the time in the beginning to make sure that you've gone through the step-by-step fast start training that you may have access to, have gone through the products that your company has so you understand them, there'll be an extra depth in your marketing when you actually start marketing. Okay, so if you've got your why sorted out, your first goal, powerful goal that's going to anchor you, that is going to fuel you in the morning to do whatever it takes, no matter how long it takes. Okay, if you've found the vehicle that you can stick with, it's not going to some silly pre-launch shiny deal that's going to end in 30 days. Don't avoid them. Okay, pick something real. Right? You'll never master the skills if you have to change opportunities every 30 days. That's part of some people's problem. They're never in one place long enough to learn the skills. So pick something and stick with it. Okay, master the fast start training, and then when you're ready to get into action, here is what you need to focus on. Results-orientated activity. Okay, what does that mean? Results-orientated activity, I'll tell you what it isn't. Okay, it's not spending all day on Facebook chatting away. Okay, it's not researching online or watching non-stop videos and what. There is a place for study. You want to make time in your daily method of operation to learn something every single day and then implement it, absolutely. But you want to make your key business time anything that will produce results. And we sort of teach this in our team. It's the 3 C's of online marketing, which is anything that helps you create traffic, capture leads, and convert sales are the activities that you want to focus on. Okay, so you heard like Niamh and Dee mention a couple of those activities that are results-orientated activities. Shooting a video, okay, writing a blog post, okay, and I'm blogging a bit more like you, Niamh. For me, it's really interesting because you've got to be you. And here's the beautiful thing when it comes to marketing, and you've got to market daily, is you don't need to be an expert at everything. You really, really don't. Okay? How you choose to get your message out there to get people into your system so you can start sharing your content with them is totally up to you. How you choose to do that is up to you. So it's just a matter of finding at least 2 or 3 forms of marketing that suit you and your personality, that enable you to deliver your message in the most natural way for you. Okay, so for me, I'm naturally attracted to anything where I can write. Okay, so that's why I love blogging. I also do video marketing because it's the most powerful form of marketing on the planet. It really is. Video just adds an extra dimension. It gives your subscribers, your team, just people, all of your FB friends or what have you, the opportunity to really see you and know what you're like. You really, even if you're not really comfy with video, I wasn't when I first started. It was only 4 years ago I started doing video because, I'm no Angelina Jolie. Isn't she gorgeous? Lucky Brad. But anyway, you might be thinking you're lucky Angelina, whatever. But yeah, I had a few little issues about video, which I had to overcome. Okay. So video can really be something that can really help support you in that way, but don't kill yourself if you're not someone that wants to shoot a video every day. If you prefer to write every day, if that's how you best express yourself, do that. Do a blog post every day, send an email to your list every day, choose methods of marketing like solo ad marketing or list builder advertising where you're doing various email marketing. It's one of the things I love to do. As long as you're doing 2 or 3 forms of marketing consistently, okay, and you don't give up, you just keep going because you're going to need to build momentum, okay? Building a business is about building momentum. Building a business is a process, not an event. It's a process, not an event. So if you've never built a business successfully before, or have never gone through the process of building momentum before, okay, you might get a little bit frustrated because you don't understand what you're doing. But you've got to understand that once you know your numbers, just the mechanics, you know your numbers of what it takes to generate results in your business, okay, and then you start taking the daily action required and the marketing required to make that happen, you may not start getting the results the first week. It may not happen the second week. But what happens is as your funnel fills, because people don't act right away, people join people, not opportunities. Okay, so when people enter your system, they're going to want to get to know you. They're going to want to know, is your business real? Are you real? How can you help them? How can your business help them? So with everything that you do, you want to be answering the questions that your prospects want answered. Okay, they really don't care about the comp plan products, blah, blah, blah. Okay, they really don't care about those things. Okay, what they care about is who you are. Are you someone that can help them? Are you committed to your business? Are you someone who quits every 30 days and will hit them with something new and shiny every single time or not? Are you someone who has stickativity? Okay, are you someone who is able to get results? Are you someone who's excited about what you do, enthusiastic about what you do? Are you someone who wants to add value, who focuses on adding value with the emails that you send, blogs that you do, and videos that you take? Is what you represent, is there a community? Is there, you know, a sort of an environment of wanting to lift people up? People want to be part of something special. People want to be part of something that's going to help them where they want to go, where they're not having to be alone in a little study or by themselves. So when you know what sort of people want, okay, you can just be yourself to deliver the message and understand as you're building momentum. The numbers may test you. It may take a bit of time, but if you keep just consistently, eventually, bang, it will start to happen. It's the law of averages. Every no brings you closer to a yes. I was taught in my door-to-door days. Okay, okay. But in another way, and I sort of think on the online world, it's like a deck of cards. You know, there are 52 cards or 54 cards in a deck, and there are 4 aces in every deck of cards, okay? Now, if you were to shuffle that deck and the aces are there, okay, you would have no doubt that if you were to go through every single card that the aces are there, so you're not going to stress if all the aces at the end of the pack or if they're, you know, right at the end or halfway through. Now, sometimes when you're building momentum and marketing, you might get lucky and get an ace in the pack early, I call it. Fantastic when that happens. But sometimes they can be spread out and sometimes they can be right at the end. But if you just go through the half a pack of cards, like you just mark it for a week, okay? I've generated 200 leads. I haven't made a sale yet. It's been a week. Sometimes I get that, okay? I've got, you know, some unpaid members, but no sign-ups. It's been a week, 200. Well, all that means is the numbers is testing you. You're in the process of building momentum, okay? Just keep on going because those aces will pop out if you do. And it happens every single time. I remember one of my team members, she actually had, never forget this story, I'll just share this story with you. She was filling her funnel, focusing on filling her funnel, saying just keep strong, keep doing it. And she had gone to about 86 opt-ins at that time, and she still hadn't had a result yet. It was 3 weeks. She wasn't, you know, she was quite new at that, didn't know how to do it, so she was just learning the skill on how to generate leads. Then eventually, bang, she ended up making 5,000 by the end of her first month, but it didn't happen until a 3rd week. Okay, so you just got to realize, understand what marketing is and understand what going through the process of building momentum is, okay, so then that you stick with it. And sometimes building momentum, if you've never done it before, can take a good 3 to 6 months. But let me tell you, the reward is there for you, because if you go through the process of building momentum, come by the end of 6 months, you're not doing anything different, but you're finding you're getting more results while you're not doing anything different, because there are people joining you that entered your system 3 months ago or 6 months ago or what have you, that were just not ready to act until now. But the biggest thing I see that people do to shoot themselves in the foot, and they're doing all the right things, maybe because their why is not strong enough and they're getting fearful or they just don't understand the principles, is they pull the plug. They pull the plug just before the numbers could come out of the wash for them. It drives me nuts when I see it. You know, when I'm thinking of quitting, I've done this, I'm saying, what? This is the time to get excited because you're actually doing the activity. Don't you dare quit. Don't you dare quit. You're actually doing the numbers. Yay! You just keep focused and just focus on adding value and just be you and just trust the law of averages, trust the universe, and it will come together for you too. And then when the magic happens, and when you first get tested with the law of averages, it's a magical thing. Because for me, I was actually tested with the law of averages in door-to-door sales. Okay? Never forget it. I was taught every yes will bring you closer to a no. I was out in the field knocking on doors. Okay, I was 22. I went out in the field 8 o'clock in the morning. I had 3 burly guys with me at the door. I used to call them my bodyguards. Okay. By lunchtime, because it was raining that day, they had left. When I talk about people quitting, imagine when they quit on you face to face. By lunchtime, I don't even know how many doors I had knocked on. I had not made a single sale. Okay. By the afternoon, 3 or 4 o'clock, I had lost my umbrella. Okay. I was soaked to the bone, and I found myself walking around the telephone pole. This is absolute truth. Walking around the telephone pole crying, bawling my eyes out like a baby. Okay, just literally. Sat down on the gutter, wet. I remember I was wearing a green jacket and black pants, and I had a bob in those days, very gothic looking. Okay, and I just bawled my eyes out. And then I just thought of my grandmother. Okay, and my grandmother, she actually sold lemons door to door during the Spanish Civil War. And I don't know what it was, but it was like my grandmother was telling me, don't be a wussy. You know, just get back out there. You know, just get back out there. And I thought about the law of averages. All right, I'm just going to go back out there. And it was like 5 o'clock. And I had my little map, my territory, so to speak. And I went back to every single door that no one was home during the day, because you've got to work your territory correctly. This is why you've got to every day do your marketing, because you never know where the aces are. And if you don't do your marketing today, you could miss out on that ace. It's that simple. So you've got to make sure you're always getting your message out consistently, like Dee said. Otherwise, you could miss out on that ace. So I said, all right, I got myself all together, went back out on the field and knocked on those doors. Within 2 hours, I had made 15 sales, which was like the whole day's target that I would normally do. After that, I never doubted the law of averages again. But I came that close while I was lying there crying on the telephone pole of quitting, because I was like, what the hell am I doing this for? Why am I doing? I'm a writer. I'm a poet. Why am I bloody out here in the rain and the wind, you know, knocking on doors and having people quit and having people slam their doors and old ladies get upset with me? Okay, no one's buying anything. Why the hell am I doing this? But I reminded myself why at that time I was doing it. Okay, and my grandmother, bless you, my abuela, okay, helped me go, and I discovered that the law of averages in action, and after that never doubted. And when I started online, that lesson was still there, you know. So I want you to trust the law of averages and just don't give up on yourself. Don't give up as you're building your momentum and everything, because once you've built it, it's easy to sustain. It takes 5% of the energy to sustain momentum compared to building it. Okay, the reward is there, and once you know how to build momentum, let me tell you the reward for you there. You can apply anytime, and you can build momentum marketing anything within a couple of weeks and get instant results once you know how to do it. Okay, so it's well worth learning the skills to do it. So get clear on your why, pick something real, understand it, focus on results orientated activity, go through the process of building your momentum. Once you have, okay, and you've reached your initial goals, then you'll have the space. Once you've built your momentum, it's all happening, you'll have the space to really uncover your true purpose, your true potential, what you were put on this planet for, and then you can set a whole new plan to help you take that to the world and get to the next level and know what Dee and Niamh feel like. Okay? Well, that's my 2 cents. I get carried away. I just love this subject.
Cristina,
I could talk
you
about
are
how to build a
amazing.
business all day.
I love it.
That was like so entertaining, and I have to tell you that exact thing.
Did you know that?
Oh my God!
Yeah.
No, I know you were just.
I thought I was going to cough today for sure.
Christina, that exact same thing happened to me right before I broke through in my current business. Well, I was not out in the rain knocking on doors.
Yeah,
right?
Okay.
right.
Yeah, but it's just my thing. Getting the opt-ins, where's the sales?
I was focused on my business. I was blogging. I was blogging every day. I was actually blogging 5 times a day. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. I was just like, I didn't know what to do.
Do what you got to do. Do whatever it takes. Do what you got to do. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was just in go mode, and one night I had wrote a blog about writer's block, because I was like, I don't even know what to write anymore. That night I was lying down. I laid down in bed, and I was crying to Mike. I was like, Mike, when is life going to change? Because I'm working really hard, and I was working 3 hours a day, and I thought this was very, very hard. So I'm working really hard, and nothing's changing, And at this point, I think that month we had made a total of $500, and I was like, I can't quit my job on $500 in a month. And you know what? Literally, like 3 or 4 days later.
Yeah.
It all clicked.
Bang.
And then the next month I made $5,500.
There you go.
And then
momentum,
it went up
darling.
and up. And yeah, I have to take a moment, ladies, and pause and say, guys, we've talked about some pretty astounding incomes already, and I know that we probably will drop some other income bombs in the call. So just to let you know, this is not a guarantee of results. This is just what has happened for us personally. And if you want to know the average incomes, we're incredibly proud of the what you call that thing? The
income disclaimer?
Income disclaimer.
If you click at the bottom of all our websites.
Yeah, if you look at the bottom of our websites, you'll see that there. That's the little income disclaimer that will show you, live average earnings, and they're updated all the time, which is awesome. So I just wanted to put that out there as well.
But you know what? I want people to have the realistic idea that, damn it, you can make $80,000 a month. You can make $5,000 plus a month. What Niamh said is true. Like, we don't know your work ethic. Like, let's just keep it real. There are 24 hours in a day, and I watched my husband work over 13 just on the phone. That doesn't count the time that he took for marketing. So I shared with you a little bit about my current day, and I know some of you are going to be like, what does she do? So I wake up in the morning anywhere from like 5 to 7 a.m. I rise early. And when I wake up, the first thing that I do is I check Facebook. I'm an addict, so I check Facebook. I get 50 messages a day, but I do not reply to them in the morning. In the afternoon, I have like a specific time where I sit down and I'll actually go through the messages for that day, because otherwise it's hella distracting. So I just take that specific time. So when I'm checking the Facebook, what I'm doing is checking responses. I'm checking for content, what people respond to, what they don't respond to, so I have an understanding for that day how to place my marketing. I have a very unique way of marketing on Facebook, so I want to share that with you, ladies. But before I do, I just want to give you a little bit of my schedule. So after I do that, I sit and I brainstorm about my video for the day. I shoot a video a day, and I don't always have the opportunity to shoot the video when I'm inspired. Like, a lot of my videos, you're like, is she in the bathroom? No, I didn't do that yet, but I'm just saying, I shoot it when I'm inspired. So I could be in the car, we're about to go into the grocery store, and I'm like, Justin, I'll take a half sub with some lettuce, tomatoes, cheese, provolone cheese, a few banana peppers. I need to shoot a video. And he's like, that's cool, I feel you. And I sit in the car and I shoot my video. I feel that the most effective for me when I shoot my video is to do it on the spot, because then I'm not concerned with what my hair looks like, or if my hat is lopsided, or can they really see my face, or ooh, am I too dark in this lighting, or I don't have time to think about that. I just have time to focus on the message. So after I brainstorm my video for the day, which takes me less than 10 minutes because I'm doing it off of inspiration, I take the time now to read about 15 minutes to anywhere from 3 hours of educational content. Cristina spoke about, how we use the business to educate ourselves. And something that, is very cool about the reason why we all met is we all met because we're in the same business opportunity. So, I'm sure I would have came across Niamh and Cristina, just because they're awesome, and they would have been like, I'm awesome, feel my energy. I'm sure I would have met them. But the truth is, I met them because of this business opportunity that we're all attached to. So something that's very unique about this opportunity, I like to consider it a personal development platform, because we have a lot of education from a lot of people who have, succeeded even more so than I have, more so than all of us here combined, in different aspects of their life. So I can sit and watch a video from a mentor who has, you know, even traveled more countries than I have, even worked with more people than I have, done more videos, done more presentations by far, and gained that skill. And then all of a sudden, when I go to talk, I'm just that much better. So I do that for anywhere from about 15 minutes to 3 hours. And I like to do it consistently every single day. I may not shoot a video every day, but I'm always inspiring or finding inspirational or educational knowledge to elevate myself. Because something that some of you may not know, and I'm just going to keep it real, I was a Hooters waitress. And my skill set, and I wasn't like a Hooters waitress going to college, I quit college. So I was a Hooters waitress, like my skill set was smiling, serving you chicken wings while they were hot, and making sure that your beer was cold. Like that was my skill set. So when I started this, I really learned everything from scratch. And I feel that that's the only thing that makes me different than anyone else, is the knowledge that I've acquired, the education that I've plugged into. So instead of going to college for 4 or 8 years, I said, you know what, screw this. We're moving to a different country and we're just going to learn this. And so we took away all distractions. We took away, you know, everything else around us. But what I didn't share with you is the real reason why we did it. And I know for some of you, you're going to hear this and you're going to be like, Dee, that's kind of drastic. But the real reason why we did it was to force us to develop the skill. Because if we would have stayed here, and you know, I'm from Miami, so I have a lot of family and all over Florida. So if I would have stayed here and this internet thing didn't work out after 2 weeks, like Cristina said, and I wasn't a millionaire, I'd be like, Mom, can we move in? And she'd be like, okay, baby, come on, go to college, let's go, you know, and she would open me with open arms. But because it was just Justin and I in this country where we didn't speak the language, we didn't have any friends, we didn't have any family, what did we force ourselves to do? Sit down and learn this skill. So now my schedule reflects upon that. I take a lot of time to, and I know that some people are like, whoa, you do that? Like, yeah, I do that because I feel that if, you know, what made me successful is someone taking the time to sit down with my husband. My husband went and saw one of his mentors in his home, and he sat down with him and was like, Justin, here's, you know, how you can make your blog post better. Here's how you can do your videos better. And he actually included me in that whole process. And at that time, I was the supportive wife. I was the observant wife. And something happened, and it's a little bit unrelated to this topic, but maybe some of you will find value in it. I had a self-limiting belief about people with money. And I believed that people who attracted money were evil. I believe that people who had lots of money were selfish, that they didn't take time to help other people, that they got that money by stepping on the backs of all of us slaves, and that's how they got it. And I was determined, and that's what I believed down to my core. So even though my husband is sitting here building a business, doing all these things, I'm spewing out energy. Well, the more you make, the worse we're off, you know? And it wasn't until I went to this man's mansion and I sat down with him and his wife, and I got to see them, and they were just like us. I was like, hold up, he's even weirder than my husband. Like, there was nothing cruel about them. There was nothing mean about them. They accepted us with open arms exactly like I was. And then I realized that that belief that I had is what limited me on moving forward. So some of you watching this may have a belief about online businesses. That's a scam. They're going to shut you down tomorrow. And I just want to help you understand that as long as you continue to believe that, you'll continue to be stuck in attracting abundance to you. You can't help someone else get to the other side, like Cristina said, if you haven't crossed over that side yourself. So anyways, fast forward. Now I spend about 6 hours a day watching videos. I watch the videos that are submitted into the groups, and I do that because, like I said, if I honestly feel that if someone didn't take the time to sit down with us and show us like, hey, here's how it's done, we wouldn't be where we are today. So I sit down with people and remind them to do things like a call of action. What's a call of action? Well, if you're watching this right now, I want you to go ahead and click the link below and join our group. That's the call of action. I'm sharing with you how you can connect with us. Maybe you want to talk to Cristina more and learn a little bit more about her 3 C's. Maybe you want to really connect with Niamh and say, hey, how do I get this authority peer? How am I able to attract these type of people to me? You can go ahead and do that by clicking the link below. I help people by reminding them that, yeah, you're talking to a camera, and yeah, thousands of people may be watching you. But remember, there's only one right now, and it's the camera. So when you're talking to it, look in the eye of the camera as if you were sitting down talking to someone. If you were talking to me in real life, would you be looking down at your feet? Would you be playing with your hair? No, we'd be talking, you know, just like we're friends sitting here chatting it up. So I just remind people that, you know, it's okay to be discouraged, because remind you, my first video was shot in the dark. But several hundred videos later, I developed a skill, and I realized that what made my videos so unique, yeah, I inspire people, but I do that because I'm able to look you in the eye and do it. I'm not ashamed of what I do. I'm very proud of the skill set that I'm able to have and how I'm able to share it with other people. So I look you in the eye and I share that with you. So I watch the videos. And then somewhere throughout that, I eat, I feed my husband, you know, try to be a good wife. And then what else do I do? Then I write. What some of you may not know is I'm a ghostwriter. And obviously, I can't tell you who I'm writing for, or the ghostness would be gone. But I like to write a lot.
Oh, I love it. Mystery.
Yeah, I'm one of those people who
you
can give me a topic, Cristina, and you could be like, D, I need a video, I need a blog post about this. And little did you know, I'll send you anywhere from 8 to 1,000 words within the hour.
Fantastic.
I just like to do it, and I don't charge for it either. As long as I have time, I do it. So I know a lot of you are like, Dee's going to write my blog post. You know, I'm just sharing with you what I like to do. And to me, I don't have the need to put my name on it, because I realize that the bigger vision, the bigger purpose. Remember, we started this hangout. I said I had one purpose and one purpose only, to help people attain freedom, period. So I really don't care how much I make. I really don't care how many hours I spend watching videos to help other people. I really don't care if I have to wake up in the middle of the night at 2 o'clock because I remembered that I forgot to do my own marketing, so let me do it then when I wake up in the middle of the night. I almost do that on a very consistent basis, because I spend a lot of my time helping other people that I forget, oh shucks, do you have your own business? So I do my marketing when I can, and that's my day. I know a lot of you are like, she could be out riding bikes and galloping on horses and, you know, going to Peru. Well, I am going next month, but that's not the point. The point is I found that the more time that I help other people, the more time I'm helping other people find and connect to that reason why, the more money I generate in the first place. What am I able to do with that money? Go ahead and become a philanthropist. I'm able to travel to other countries and work with them one-on-one in ways that I wasn't able to afford to. I would look at people in need and I would say, oh, okay. You know, if you have ever been to Haiti, something that you may not know is their unemployment rate is over 80%. And if you can imagine being in a country where the unemployment rate is over 80%, you can imagine just seeing people everywhere. And they're kind of idly walking around. It wasn't until just recently that I literally had the money to get in contact with organizations and to get started on my own. Did I have to call Cristina and ask Cristina for her permission and say, hey, Cristina, you know what? Could you help me here and, you know, get some finances together with me? Did I have to call Niamh and say, okay, my sister, listen, I really need your help right now. I'm trying to do this, but I just can't do it on my own. No. Instead, we created over $80,000 a month, and I'm able to just swipe my credit card and say, yes, I can help this. I can do this. I have a purpose now. So connecting to your reason why is just going to bring you that much closer to what you have to do. So let me just recap. I shoot my video, And that's my income producing activity. I shoot my video and I write every day. For Cristina and Niamh, it's blogging. You know, we all have that spectrum of blogging, because once you're able to actually lock arms with us, yeah,
Love
you know
email
that.
marketing.
Yeah, well, that's our internet marketing. That's our form of getting our information out there. So once you're able to actually connect with that and say, I got something I can blog about too. And it doesn't have to be about inspiration like me. It doesn't have to be about connecting to your inner why like me. It doesn't have to be about the 3 C's like Cristina. It can literally be about whatever you want it to be. And once you connect to that, once you connect to what gives you passion, it's game over. It's game over. For some people, it's fishing. For some people, it's cooking. For some people, it's making and designing and creating. Once you connect to that and you have your reason why you're doing this, Cristina shared she was doing this because, you know, she literally was so frustrated with society, the medical industry. She said, there's no more. So there's a time in your life. I had that same time too. I broke down to my knees. And I was like, I will not be determined by what someone else tells me I am. I'm a college dropout. I got my GED. I'm a Black American from Haiti. Like, I could give every excuse in the book why I shouldn't be where I am today. But the reason is because I said enough is enough, I can move forward. So we all have that time in our journey. Niamh was talking about, she sat in the bed with her husband and she said, what am I going to do? $500, what can I do with this? And the next thing you know, because she didn't quit, she was able to move forward. She was able to move forward. So sometimes, you know, for you guys, you're looking at the time period. D, I've been doing this for 7 years. I just told you I've been online for over 6 years. I wasn't making $80,000 in the beginning. I was making $500. I was making $1,500. I remember I built up an income. Cristina was talking about choosing the right vehicle. I built up an income, Justin and I, till about $3,000 a month living in Costa Rica. And I thought, my God, this is it. This is it. I called up my family. Woo, we're going to break free, guys. The owner of that company changed the comp plan and reduced our income to less than $1,000. Not within a month, not within a year, within 1 day. 1 day, my income reduced. So when she talks about creating a skill set, you know, creating that traffic, capturing leads, converting sales, there's a reason why we say that. You know, my goal is to help people attain freedom. It's not to make you dependent. It's to help you become free. I can only do that if you're willing to actually take the time to develop the skill set.
Absolutely.
That's what I wanted to say.
Oh, Dee, that was beautiful. I mean, it's interesting because I'm actually reading a book by Robert Greene called Mastery. I'm just loving it. Mastery by Robert Greene. And what I love about what he shares in that book is about the learning process and the creative process. And he talks a lot in that book about famous people who have achieved extraordinary things like Thomas Edison and, you know, Einstein and so on. And he talks about going through an apprenticeship period. And I just love it, you know, because whenever you set out to achieve anything, okay, if you're setting out to build a business and it's all new to you and you're learning the skills, you know, and I know, I get it, when you hear people say they make 80,000 in a month, you know, and they did it in 2 months, or someone made 100,000 and they did it their first 30 days. What that means, okay, is they have a certain skill set, okay, and I bet you if you were to ask any one of them, they would have developed it over years, okay. And in the book, Robert talks about how, generally speaking, it takes 10 years to master a skill, where you are considered a master, where what you are able to do after those 10 years is like change the world, you know, have an impact on the world, invent something, or put a new spin to whatever niche that you're in because of 10 years of being an apprentice, you know, and learning the skills. And then once the penny starts to drop, because it will, okay, like it did for Niamh, she's doing what she's doing, she's mastering how to blog every day. She thinks, I'm only earning $500. But the miracle lies on the other side. If you just don't give up and you just keep getting better every day and better every day, then suddenly you get to accelerated learning, and the creative side really starts to come in, and suddenly like the penny drops and you start to think, I get it. Wow, you're starting to realize your ideas are coming easier. You're starting to get inspired by other people, and then you go, oh my Lord, I'm going to twist that and put my Cristina twist or D twist or Niamh twist into that, and I'm just going to spin it over here and spin it over there. And suddenly what drove you nuts, made you want to hit your head against the wall and cry, okay, 3 months ago it was so damn hard to do. It would take you 3 hours to do it, and you still couldn't get it right. Okay, suddenly you could do it in your sleep, and it's fun, and it's easy, you know. And then you're sort of like, well, what am I going to learn next? You know, because I want to learn more, and I'm a bit bored now, so I need to I need to learn more. So just understand that when it takes time, okay? You're going to be an apprentice for a while, learn from other people. Even if you have experience, I mean, that happened to me. Even if you can come to the table with a level of experience in any new business, or you start any new business, when you start any new business with any company, you have to come with an open mind and really put everything you know behind. Otherwise, otherwise you won't be able to take your learning to the next level that you want it to go. So when you understand that whenever you're learning anything or building anything, that you go through an apprenticeship period, you value the learning over the money, you just do, and you inspire other people and teach other people to do so too, because that's where the magic is, okay? You'll master it. It doesn't matter what the skill is. If you're passionate about it and you have a curiosity about it like a child, you've got to tap into your inner child. I'm a big kid. I'm 45, but I still feel, 8 sometimes. If I could climb a tree, I would. Yep, I look at my girls climbing up the tree. I think, oh, I remember when I climbed up trees. If I could climb trees. Love climbing trees. So I'm a big kid, can't help it, I just am, and I don't care. I will never ever lose the child in me, because I know keeping the child alive in me is what keeps the curiosity alive, is what keeps me asking questions. Wow, I was watching Dee's video, and why did she say that the way she said it? There was a way she said a certain phrase a certain way, and I thought, that just hit me between the eyeballs. And why does she do that? Wow. You know, you start to notice patterns in the successful people. You start to notice how they do things. You think, I've never thought about doing it that way before. That's an interesting little tip. You'll start to notice things around you that can help you take your business to the next level, or help you just improve your current skills from people around you. That's why it's really important who you associate with, you know, what you allow into your brain, what books you're reading, what you're watching, you know, who you're surrounding yourself with, because what goes in must come out. Okay, so if you want to be highly successful in what you do in your business, well, you want to be around people who will stretch you. Okay, not just your peers, but people who have achieved more than you, who will stretch you, who challenge you. In fact, I say to you, whenever a leader says to you, anyone says something to you, ask a question, and it makes you feel uncomfortable, great. Okay, if they tell you something that challenges you, makes you feel uncomfortable, or makes you feel, oh, well, that's not really what I want to hear, okay, great, because that's a lesson for you to learn. And I'm no different. I learn all the time, and whenever I feel uncomfortable, that's a signal to me. Oh, that's challenging me. It's pushing buttons. Ooh, okay, I've got some sort of belief or something I need to get over here, you know. And I go off and think about it, and I let it germinate. And then hopefully I listen to the lesson and apply it into my life, you know. So you've got to surround yourself around people. And if it helps, if you have like a company that has events, and if they do, go to them. Go to the events if you can. You know, like we've got one next week. I can't wait to meet the ladies here.
I can't wait.
You know, can't wait to meet the team. Just can't wait. It's been a long time coming. Even got my hair done. See, there's no grey. Even got it coloured. I haven't had hair this dark since my 20s. I freaked out at the hairdressers. No, seriously, I'll tell you a funny story. I was at the hairdresser, said, yeah, colour it this time. So I never bothered to colour my hair because I have it really short, if you haven't noticed, and my hair grows like a weed. Look, I'm just going to be honest. Okay, my hair grows like a weed so fast, it's ridiculous. There's no point colouring it. Otherwise, I'd be in the bloody hairdresser part of the language every week. Okay, so I just, go with my George Clooney look, that's fine. Well, anyway, have for years. And so, anyway, I was in the hairdresser's, Caroline, she's lovely. If you ever in Wood End, go to the hairdresser's there, Caroline's lovely. Anyway, she was cutting my hair and then we'll colour it. I go as natural to my hair colour as you can. So we chose dark brown. Don't want to do, don't want to go peroxide blonde or anything. Been there, done that. Maybe when I'm 50, who knows. But anyway, she went ahead and dyed it. And after it was all done, I'm looking in the mirror and I'm thinking, oh my God, I started freaking out. Seriously, I was looking in the mirror and I was freaking out. I'm going, oh my God, Caroline, I haven't had my hair this dark, this colour, since my 20s. It's
and you look
freaking me
fabulous.
out. I know, I had no idea I had so much grey. Obviously, I had more grey than I thought. It was more than George Clooney. But anyway, I've got my fabulous, vibrant, dark brown hair, and I can't wait to get to Denver. Yes.
Do you know what's so wonderful about what you shared there, Cristina? It's like seriously, everything you're saying, it's like I can identify exactly at what point that these different lessons happened for me, and it was like when you were talking about having to empty your cup and having to let go. When I came to my business, I got online 2.5 years ago, and all I wanted was the secret to jump all the stuff. I was like, I just want to jump to the end. That's it. But see, the thing is, Cristina, I didn't realize that. I was like, I am so smart. I'm going to figure it out, and I'm going to figure out the shortcut. And so I spent 2.5 years wasting my time looking for the shortcut instead of actually applying what people were telling me to do. And it was when I got to an event that I was able to look at myself and see this big, we were talking at the start about the garbage that's in front of your face. I had this big garbagey thing in front of my face that was, I'm really smart, so I can outsmart the system. Because that's what I did in school. That's how I got through school. That's how I got through college. Even though I basically had probably about 20% attendance in college, I still got a degree because I sure knew how to work a system. So it's like, I'm going to figure out this system and I'm going to work it. I'm going to shortcut the having to learn, right? And it was so stupid because then I was in this event and I was looking in Atlanta and I was looking at these people on stage and I'm like, oh my God, they don't look that amazingly smart. They obviously just did the system and they all said the same thing. And what I realized in that moment is that you can't skip the apprenticeship. You have to learn. Now, the cool thing was, right, that was 2.5 years of trying to outsmart the system. Do you know how long it was when I realized I needed to actually follow the steps to when I had success? It was 1 month. It was 1 month when I said, oh, I need to do what they tell me to do. And do you know what they told me to do? They told me to read books. They told me to listen to audios. They told me to apply every day. And when I did it, it freaking worked, and talk about this process, you put all this stuff in. So for a month, I was putting stuff in and just writing blogs and putting stuff in and writing blogs. And then all of a sudden I woke up one day with an idea for a blog post. I was like, ooh, that would be a cool one, because I was taking in so much stuff from people who knew what they were talking about. All of a sudden it all germinated into a little blog post idea, and that idea took off, and then I had another one, and then I had and it just turned into this big thing. And now in the last year I've made over $118,000 for my family.
Oh, go girl, go! Niamh, that is just standing ovation time. I mean, because, don't feel bad. And here's the thing, we've all done it. It's human nature to want to take a shortcut. It's human nature to want to have the easy path. If there's an easy way to do it. I mean, look, seriously, if we could all snap our fingers and say, well, I'd like to make $1 million instantly, my very first month, without having to learn. I mean, that's just not going to happen. That's a nice little fantasy, but it's not, So you might as well fall in love with learning. Fall in love with what you do. Be passionate about learning the skills required to be successful in your business, because you're going to have to go through the apprenticeship. There is no way that you can avoid it, but it doesn't have to be horrible. Once you accept it, I think once you accept that there's no shortcuts and you accept, okay, well, I'm going to have to follow this road, okay, and because I want to achieve what I want to achieve and become the kind of person that deserves that, okay, well, I'm going to apply it. I'm going to be a good student and I'm going to apply what I'm learning and do the best I can and improve every single day. Well, you'll enjoy it. You know, you get frustrated here and there, but you won't get as frustrated as someone who's looking for the secret or the easy way out. Just focus, commit, and you can have it happen in a month. And 118,000 the last year, that's fantastic. I applaud you. And means anyone can if you make the same decision Niamh has. Jeez, forget the shortcut.
Wow.
That's like a gremlin out to get you. Focus on the skills.
Yeah, and ladies,
oh wait, just one thing. I'm sorry, Niamh.
That's okay.
One thing. I remember.
It's a great subject, isn't it?
I spoke a little bit about it earlier, and I was like, you know, I would receive, and it was almost like hate mail. They were like, "Oh, you're Haitian. Those Haitians don't know what they're doing about making money." And it was like their self-limiting beliefs. You know, I would shoot a video, and they were like, "Well, who do you think you are, Miss Skinny Minnie? I'm over here," you know. Or I would have, like, I went through the blonde phase too, not gonna lie. And, you know, I was like, I don't know, I guess Beyonce inspired me, I don't know. So, like, I went through the blonde phase, and people would be like, well, who are you trying to be, you know, or what's wrong with you that you don't like the way your natural hair was? And I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Actually, my hair is natural. I just wanted to switch it up because it takes me hours to do it. And I have hours to do of helping other people, so am I going to do my hair for hours a day, or am I going to help people for hours a day? I'm going to slap on a wig and help people for a few hours a day. That's what I'm going to do. So I just want to show you, just tell you, the point of all that is if you get discouraged or you receive some, you know, letter from someone and they're like, I don't get what you do, or you're this, or don't take it personally. You're actually moving in the right direction. And I know that society will tell you that's not the case. Hey, they don't like you. You got to stop right there. But if you look at anyone successful, they had to go through that adversity. So I just wanted to share with you, don't stop, you know, don't quit. If you get discouraged, it's okay. That's where you're supposed to be. Get past it and keep moving forward, because we were all discouraged. We all get discouraged. We all have low energy days. I mean, I started this hangout and I was like, okay, ladies, I got 15 minutes. Okay, I'm pregnant. I got 15 minutes. Now look at me. You know what I mean?
Me too. I was like, I've just had a coughing fit half an hour before. I've got my lemon tea, but if I have a coughing fit, you'll have to take over.
I know. I thought you were both going to leave on me.
Toof. You know, interesting what you put up there, Dee, and I think this is important, because when you do something that's in the public, okay, and you be you, fabulous you, only you, okay, not everybody's going to love your guts, okay? Not everybody's going to love and adore you, okay? In fact, the more you are, okay, you are going to, depending on, you know, you are going to get, you know, people just don't get you. Okay, and you know, sometimes you can look at like people like Niamh or Dee or what have you, and think that they've gone through building their business and it's all been love, 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 love. You know, they've never gotten a nasty email. They've never received, you know, a horrible message on their voicemail. They've never gotten a nasty Facebook message because of something you said and they completely took it the wrong way, and you know. Rubbish. We all have. Okay. I remember, Dee, your thing there about Haiti. I remember someone saying to me, replying back, rubbish, a Mexican can't make that much money. To me! Hey, I'm not even Mexican, and I love Mexicans, and I love Mexican food, and how dare you be such a racist, whoever you are that would ever think that. And but you're going to get that. You're going to get that, again, like Dee said, don't take it personally. We've all gone through it, you know. When you deal with the public, Jim Rohn says it best. There's not many nasty people in the world. In fact, there's only a few nasty people in the world, but they get around. Okay? Those few get around. So when they come into your space, the best thing you can do, because you can choose your arguments. There are sometimes you've got to step up. If I see any bullying, injustice, I'm there, you know, and look, I can't help myself, I jump in, okay? But if someone's sending me a silly email about my business, a pawn site scheme, and it's a pyramid scheme, and blah, blah, blah. I just click to delete. I don't even let it bother me. It is water off a duck's back. Onward bound, on to positive things. Do not allow the negativity of other people who just don't get it, and I feel very sorry for them, and I hope one day that they work all that stuff out, okay, affect what you're doing and what you're going to achieve in future that you don't even know you're going to achieve yet, that you will, once you've achieved what you need to achieve now. And that's it.
Oh wow. I used to not want to create content because I was so scared of what people would say. But you know what I realized one day? I used to, Dee was talking about being a Hooters waitress. I used to work at Starbucks, and I'll tell you, before people have coffees, they are assholes. And I'm sorry to say it, but they are. So at the till, you get a whole lot of crap, and at the delivery point, they're like, "I love you."
You fed. Oh,
just being
no,
real.
I hope I'm nice before I have my coffee. I don't know. I have to admit, I don't really talk much in the morning before I've had my coffee.
Really think
I'm a night girl.
About how like, are you just like, give me my coffee, or are you nice, right?
No, I'm nice. I'm always nice to customers. We're in the service industry, I'm nice to waitresses, everybody, and I always get more ice cream for that reason.
Exactly. No, but you'll encounter that, and even if you're a stay-at-home mom, you're gonna go to the park with your kids, and you're gonna encounter a mom that says some nasty things. You cannot avoid people in life unless you're dead, and so that means that are you going to have nasty people telling you, making you have a bad day at work? Or are you just going to have someone sending you an email that you can hit delete? Because that's the beauty of an online business.
Yeah.
But ladies,
he's getting a door slammed in your face. Yeah, to keep it real, I do. I remember when I wanted to learn telemarketing after my door-to-door days. I wanted to learn telemarketing, and that's it. I wanted to learn the skill of thank God, because when I got online with my back, I couldn't do the things that most my door-to-door experience, telemarketing experience, customer service experience, I guess, in my jobby kind of sort of days, helped develop those skills there. I think it's funny. Life is a funny thing. Nothing is a waste of time. This is what I want to say, okay? Nothing is a waste of time. You might think, oh, my God, I've gone through this and I've done this and it was horrible and this, that, the other. But there really is a reason for everything, and you may not know it for another 5 years or whatever. It may not come clear to you for another year or whatever. But everything that you've done in your life, as long as you're willing to do. See, there's only 2 types of failure, I read, okay? And the first type of failure is the worst type of failure, is where you don't do anything. You never give anything a go. You allow your doubt, your skepticism, your fear to stop you from taking any action whatsoever. And instead, you just do the same thing that you do every single day, stay on the couch watching TV, and nothing changes. That's living death to me. Okay, you're not learning something new, never going to learn anything new if you do that. Okay, the other type is failure is when you're constantly doing something new, doing something that maybe you didn't do last month, trying to learn something new here or whatever it is. Yes, you may struggle. Yes, you're going to get frustrated while you're learning and all of that. But that sort of failure is good failure. Okay, so when I was doing my telemarketing, my door-to-door, at the end, I had success there, but things happen. You've got to learn how to deal with disappointment and pick yourself up and keep going. Okay, all those things happen. It just makes you stronger as an individual. It just improves maybe your communication skills, what have you. I was mute when I was a teenager. That's why I wrote a diary, because I couldn't speak properly. I didn't feel I could express myself verbally, because when I came to Australia, I didn't even speak English. I was 6, 7 years old, had to learn English. I had a Spanish accent until I was 22. I hated my Spanish accent. All I wanted to do was lose my Spanish accent. And I think that's part of what attracted me to door, is I would have an excuse to speak, talk. I got into radio for the same reason. I just wanted to get better at talking because I felt most comfortable, and still do. It's amazing. I think it's a lifelong thing. Communication is so important because you want to be understood. Everybody wants to be understood. But you can't have people understand you unless you can express how you feel. And when you can really say things that most people can't say or are unable to say, or learn how to say things that most people are unable to say, when you can say things that most people are unable to say, that's how you can really help a hell of a lot of people, because I know that's helped me. Having someone when I couldn't verbalize a thought, a feeling, or what have you, whether it's through a book or a song or a movie even, and not even, but someone was able to put it, the words just there. Ah, that's what I want to do. That's why I do what I do. And that's why I'm obsessed with communication. I am obsessed with it. Always have been. And if you get obsessed with whatever it is, I've lost my train of thought. You're going to get there, okay? Maybe because I was talking about not being a very good communicator. There you go. Isn't it funny? But but it's true, you know. I wasn't. But I wrote. But nothing is a waste of time. That's it. So all those things you can bring to the table now, and then develop your skill further to wherever you want to go and learn other new skills that maybe haven't even been invented yet.
That's amazing, because you know we each bring something so fresh to the table, and it's all creating your online business is all about discovering yourself in it, and also just following the path. You know, create traffic, capture leads, convert sales. You know, I say it as become an authority peer. Dee will say it as finding your purpose, but all of it is finding yourself and following the path and choosing one vehicle and sticking to it until you become successful. And the one thing that, you know, at this point now, it's 2:30 in the morning for me, so we're going to close things off, but I got to tell you, it's been so powerful, and I've learned a lot that I want to apply in my business. The truth is, where you are now, your choice now is to make a decision of exactly where you want to be and who you want to align with and who you want to lock arms with. You know, we have all shared that we're in the same vehicle, and you have that choice. You can lock arms with us and with people who will hold you up and build you up and help you be the best version of you while teaching you like the actual technical what to do on a daily basis, so that you can become the best you, but also have a business that you can like quite clearly follow simple, straightforward steps to achieve that. So we would love to have you as part of our team, as part of this journey with us. We invite you to click the link below the video, and we will see you all next Sunday. We love you guys. Bye, everybody.